Hi, folks. Welcome to Stories Around the Candle. This here story is brought to you by Butt Boss Cigarettes. The only cigarettes you can tell your boss, it's time for a cigarette break. But boss, enjoy 'em while they last. And now we dive deep into this story, right now, called Mother Earth, brought to you by Mr. Mention himself. We have assigned you to travel to the furthest galaxy from our home planet here on Nebula Orb 66. We have been seeing extreme activity and almost, if not completely perfect conditions for life to sustain there many millennia to come. Our first strategy of sending a planet orbiter there blew up right in front of our faces. We have assigned you with this mission because we feel you are the one. All of your tests and routine assignments have come up 100%. Now, John, we just want to tell you that you might never come back from this mission. So we have equipped the ship you will be traveling on with all the necessities. Food, drink, all of our planet's history and all forms of documentation, and a vision communicator so that you can see your family every day. If you choose to back down from this assignment, we won't have any chance of our species surviving in the future. Orb 66 is set to implode in the next 50 years due to our resources being drained up to keep all of its residents just surviving. Captain Jim Edwards spoke these very words to John 70 years ago. The day John would head out on the greatest mission in the history of all creation. It is now the age of Sagittarius, named after the supreme sun god of all the nebulas of that age. John suddenly spoke loud and clear. The smoke and fog and precipitation was setting upon the horizon. He was in orbit of the planet that would soon be called Earth. I am here, you are there. May our species thrive. May the wonders of the seven corners of the universe celebrate. For home is now found. We make life again, and you shall be called Mother Earth. He then opened the hatch and noticed something strange about the environment. His spacesuit said there's more amounts of oxygen in the atmosphere than his suit currently gave him. He then proceeded to strip bare all the way down to his underwear. His rocket was nestled comfortably on a small plane that drifted off into a waterfall. He felt compelled to get completely naked, for his home planet was nothing but a smoldering ashtray of the universe, with comets continually striking at it. And now he felt a great spirit in the air of Mother Earth. So he took his last briefs off and decided to go to the very edge of the waterfall. He took an angle hook and a strap with him to hook onto a rock, and then there stood at the very edge, looking all the way down. The cliff was about 500 feet up, so if he were to fall, he knew this whole mission would be a complete failure. He didn't stay long for fear of what might happen if the strap decided to break loose. So he went back, took the hook off the rock, and decided to talk to Captain about the oasis he had just found. It was then that the strap broke loose, and he found himself dangling literally between a rock and a soon-to-be hard place. He tried to keep his grip on the boulder, but he just couldn't help but get pulled into the drag of the current. The water then quickly swiped him away. He screamed, yelled, cried to God Almighty, "No, please, I can't die now, not now." But it was all too late. The waterfall had pulled him in, and off he went, tumbling down a 500-foot waterfall. There was some luck in him, though, as he didn't fall all the way down. Inside the waterfall, there was a sort of cavernous crevice, and he landed right in the middle of the cave. Thankfully, he praised Sagratarnius for saving his life, then wondered how he would be able to get back to the ship. The cave was dead dark, with not a sound but the rushing water falling over the huge cliff. He had no clothes, no supplies, nothing that could help him out. He decided to try and peer out the corner of the cave to see if there were any sort of passage he could find to climb back up. There was a jointed rock face about 3 feet to the right from the corner of the cave. If he had enough strength left from taking such a hard hit from the fall, and just enough luck, maybe he could make it. He decided to give it a go. He gave the biggest leap he could and almost missed the rock, but caught it by his right hand. Left dangling, grip slipping, he grabbed the rock with both hands and pulled himself up. Reach after reach, he got a better grip of the rock face and kept climbing until he found himself about 10 feet from the top of the cliff. A sense of relief had fallen over him, briefly, but he didn't lose sight that if he relaxed now, he would just fall again and most likely die. So, he gave all his effort and climbed the last 10 feet. As he made it back to safety, he sat down and decided to think about what had just happened. Wow, I almost died. If I die, we all die. I can't let that happen again. He then got up and walked slowly, as if in a trance, back to the ship. He couldn't help but view something that looked like a god's dream. Colors like green, blue, indigo, and violet. A bright burning star that shone over the whole planet. These colors he had literally never seen before in his life. Struck by the magnitude of the situation, he could no longer walk. He fell down to his knees and began to weep such a pure cry. The cry of a creature that was in a place that seemed so perfect, you felt you shouldn't be there. He felt he might stain this holy place just from being there. John calmed down a bit and closed his eyes and thought, my God, I finally made it. I finally made it home. The first creation to ever set foot on this gift from great Sagratarnius himself. I must go now and inform the captain. We have found home. As he made his way to the ship, he thought he saw something out of the corner of his eye. When he turned around, he saw a band of about 70 or so bright, white, glowing, celestial beings. It was then that he felt the purest feeling that consciousness could ever feel. My God, is it true? Are the stories really real? They must be. They are, said one of the angelic beings, so omnipresently peaceful. This is the mother planet of all the nebulas in the universe. Welcome home, son. There's someone who would like to see you. Sagratarnius appeared. Thanks, folks, again for tuning in to Stories Around the Candle. Again, this story is brought to you by Butt Boss Cigarettes. The only cigarettes you can tell your boss, it's time for a cigarette break. But boss, enjoy them while they last. Thanks. Goodbye.